Morning, everybody. Good morning. I got some bad news. I got some really bad news for all of us. Oh boy, do I. We've been doing this all wrong. We've been doing this whole thing all wrong. Oh my gosh, I have to admit that I even have been doing it wrong. And I'm sure you've been doing it wrong because, we live in the society of the give me. Give me, we've never really seen hard times in the United States. We've never really seen hard times, not in our generation. We could go get a job, we could do whatever we want to do. Um, and oh boy, I got to admit that I've led you all down the wrong road. I've led you down the wrong road. It's prepping, can become overwhelming. And so I have to admit that I've led you down the wrong road. Can you all believe that? You're all probably like, what the heck? So I'm going to say this. Good morning, our good morning, Boo, Sandra, Carol, Cherie, Mama Freddie. Good morning to anybody that's lurking or I missed. I was trying to get on here at 7. Good morning, Brandy. So, preppers, we've got this all freaking wrong. Can you all believe this? That I'm actually admitting this. We live in this society of I've got to get a new pair of shoes. I've got to get these long-term survival foods that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? I got to get these freeze-dried foods. I got to get the freeze dryer. I got to can every day, or I'm not going to make it. And, we have been fed this, even here in the prepping community. I've been very concerned about the food shortages, which I'm sure that all of you have too. How many of you right now in the chat have been really concerned about the food shortages and all the chickens being cold and the trout and oh my gosh, we might have nuclear. We couldn't have a garden and oh, there's a big long list. Hit a one if you've been concerned about feeding your family. I'm gonna tell you something because we've had this all freaking wrong. Oh my goodness, preppers, preppers, preppers. We live in the give me society. We live in this society of I've always got to get more, 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 right? So I'm gonna share something with you because preppers, we've really screwed this up. We've screwed this up. See, prepping, if you look at some of these big websites, there's a couple people here on YouTube that are got million subs, and all they do is they push their products to you day in and day out, day in and day out, and they push them to the point that you're getting a little nervous, like, oh, holy crap, I'm never gonna make this. I'm not. There's no way I can even survive a couple months, let alone a year or 2 years. But what I want to talk about is that we've had this all wrong. You don't need all that stuff. I'm going to show you a picture. And I realized that, we can build up a 1 year food supply for less than $300. 1 year. Now, when you go to many of the freeze dry sites, you're talking about 15, $1,700, you know? And most people right now, the most important thing is for all of us to pay our bills down, pay our bills down, pay our bills ahead. get a little bit of silver in our pocket because when the dollar falls, we're going to be screwed. I mean, just saying. So here is our basics, and me and Dragonflies have done this. But I sat back and I said, "You spoiled ass prepper." You spoiled ass prepper in the United States. You think you gotta have this, and that, and I gotta have my Snickers bars and my Ruffles, and I gotta have some ice cream and maybe some lollipops and shit. Well, we add on to this list. Oh my gosh, and I gotta have freaking ketchup, and don't forget the Miracle Whip. And well, and if I had to live without some mustard on my dog, well, shit, life would be sucky. Y'all, we got this freaking screwed up. See, we don't have to put thousands and thousands of dollars into this. We could each feed one member of our family for roughly $200 for a whole freaking year if we took it back to basics. If we took it back to basics. Because see, we've had this wrong. We come on these YouTube channels, and I've even said it like, "Oh crap," like my computer's rocking right now because I was like, "Oh," I look and I read a lot, and I was like, let's wake up and smell the coffee, or maybe not. Is coffee really a necessity? Is it really a matter of survival to have a freaking cup of coffee? Not really. It's not really. When it comes to starvation, and I want to say this, when it comes to starvation, if you watch someone starve to death, it will be long and agonizing and painful. And I don't know about y'all, but I could not bear to see dragonflies starve to death. I couldn't bear to see my nieces or my nephews starve to death. I it would be terrible. So, yeah, we are the coffee crew, so I knew that we would say that. But when it really boils down to it, what I wanna say is we need these these few items right there. Hold on a minute, let me push me down here in the corner. No, that didn't really help that much. Oh, well, whatever. So, really, when it boils down to it, right, folks, we just need those few things. That's it. We could go a whole year with just these few things. You're right, remaining remnant, their organs will start shutting down, and it'll be absolutely agonizing. See that right there? See that picture right there, folks? That picture right there is a 1-year food supply. Whoa. Oh, I live in an apartment. I can't do it because I don't have enough room. Bullshit. Bullshit. You have enough room. Bullshit. Quit making excuses. Bullshit. Pull your head out of your ass. You can do it. All of us can do this. You need 8 5-gallon barrels. 8. That's it for one person. And maybe a little shelving unit. If you don't have a shelving unit, you don't want to spend the money on a shelving unit, screw the shelving unit. We don't have to gimme. Put it under your bed. Stack the 8 barrels in your closet, right? Do it. And then add your coffee, add your Tang. But I want to say that we've had this all screwed up. Every storage plan, every single storage plan should involve bulk foods. Every single one. Good morning, Scan. Every single plan should involve bulk foods. And I hope that, if you're new to the prepping community, that you're not scared to death like, oh my gosh, so and so, he has 1 million subs, and so has 500 100,000 subs. And he's telling me I have to buy freeze dried food. And if I don't, I'm screwed. I'm going to die. It's wrong. It's wrong. They can say whatever, but survival, actual survival, comes down to some very basics. And these basics will give you a 1-year food supply for roughly $200. So, okay, you're on a limited budget. You're on disability, you're on Social Security. I've always believed in prepping on the cheap. That is one thing I can be proud of is that I did start this channel around prepping on the cheap, using things around you. So, let's just take $250, spread it out, right? Spread it out. 20 bucks a month and you can feed yourself for a whole year. Maybe we do need to put it into full tilt fast gear because I'm not going to sit here and say that our food chain is steady because it's not. I'll be doing a special about what's happening with the beef industry and some of our food industries over on OTWP Report. What I will say is that if we buy the basics, if we have the basics, that we can make it for 1 year. The other thing about most of these basics is they have a very, very long shelf life. Some of them forever, like honey. But one thing I want to say about honey is don't go buy the cheap honey because if you're buying the cheap honey, you're buying corn syrup. And if you're going to buy corn syrup, you're not doing your body good. Okay, you're not doing your body good. There's a guideline to the real basic things we need. And this may sound like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine having to eat hot oatmeal with honey and milk on a daily basis. It's better than not eating. It's better than starving to death. And as RR posted, it's better than watching someone's organs start failing one by one by one until they can't stand up, till they can't be coherent, till they pass out, till then they starve to death, which would be long and painful, right? Also, lunch. Here's your breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu, and I'm going to give it to you straight. Every day for 1 year, if you had absolutely no food, but you had a 1 year stockpile of food, you would eat oatmeal on a daily basis with a little honey and milk. The other thing is, if say you had that can of fruit, or say that you have a fruit tree, or that you're able to forage some type of wild berries, then you could add those into the oatmeal to spice it up. But you could actually live on oatmeal for a whole year or longer. The second thing is for lunch, you're going to eat a tortilla and some sprouted wheat. That's what your lunch is going to be for a whole year. And that doesn't sound too appetizing. And then for dinner, you're going to splurge. You're going to have rice and beans. Now, rice and beans can be spiffed up so easily, right? But the thing is, folks, is how do you know? How do you know that you have real honey? One, what we do, honestly, is we only buy from a local honeybee keeper. I would seek out somebody in your area that sells local honey because also local honey to your area is different than local honey to my area. So that would be the big. I wouldn't go. I'm really not a store buyer for honey. I never have been because I used to get like the honey in the little teddy bear, and I found out we were just slurping down corn syrup, and it's like, is that really nutritional, or is it really going to have that long shelf life? So when me and Dragonflies were in Colorado, we did buy some honey that wasn't local to the Ozarks. We bought Colorado honey. But, you can go to like a vegetable market. You can go to some of your small mom and pop shops, and they will carry local honey. You can also look on Facebook. You can look on, the marketplace, and a lot of times people will advertise it, Sandra. Yes, and tortillas are so freaking easy to make. Um, I love Mexican food, and I can spiff up a tortilla with anything. Peanut butter, a piece of cheese, just butter, just salt. A tortilla with a little bit of salt on it, and tortillas really is just water, flour, salt. That's it. It's really easy. It's one of the first things that I ever learned to make. Being brought up in Colorado, I'll never forget this lady. Everybody just called her she was the grandma, and she was from Mexico, and she sat out in front of this mobile home, and she had a little campfire, and she'd put a little grate across it, and it was so cool to watch her because she would go out there with a stone, and she would be rolling out, and she used the stone to roll out her dough, and then she'd throw them in this pan with just barely any oil and cook up tortillas, and they were the best freaking tortillas you ever ate. She would make stacks. I'm not kidding you, folks. Stacks to tortillas like this high, and they were delicious, and they were just so fresh. I think that learn to make tortillas is like a huge thing, especially or learn to make some basic breads that you can do over a campfire, that you can do over a grill. Maybe I'll do a demo of making a loaf of bread, not no hardtack because, well, had to I had to pull out my own tooth after eating that hardtack. But okay, Dylan's. Yeah, see, there's several places that you can find local honey, but I would really search it out. I wouldn't buy Ah, you can buy store-bought, but you need to be very picky. Also, like Shetler's, all the Amish stores, um, if you're blessed enough to have a Mormon store in your area or a Mormon church could tell you where to go. Also, we go to Shetler's because Shetler's has, I mean, gallons of honey. So I would think definitely, get local honey. But that's what's that? I have to differ with you, Lady Casca. I'm sorry, I have to differ with you. We're talking about survival right now. We're talking about survival, and I'll tell you this, you can add like I said, you can add simple things in, but what I wanna talk about is that we've had it all wrong, We don't have to go out and buy the T-bone, we don't have to go out and buy the prime rib, we don't even have to go out and buy the shrimp. We love seafood, I could live off of seafood and chicken, but even look at the chicken prices right now. We did our grocery list for our grocery haul this month yesterday, and I was like, "Holy crap." Folks, chicken used to be the go-to for middle class and poor folks, just saying. I told Dragonflies in a joke, I said, "Well, at least we could get the chicken feet. They're $4 a bag." I remember it was not that long ago, the last couple of years, that you could get chicken for a nice family pack for like $6, $7. How many of you seen chicken just go out of this world price-wise? Yeah, and they I talked about that before, all the stuff they're injecting into the chickens. So we actually have found a local butcher that sells a really nice meat pack for 90 bucks. It's hamburger, it's pork, it's all local raised in Missouri. If you really search them out, you can find them. Like Lady Casca has a great resource that she is involved in Ruby's Pantry, where you pay so much and everybody goes in. You also have Azure. That's another great resource, and I didn't even know that was available in this small town that we're outside of. And I think that some of those you can get some really good deals and prices. But what I really want to talk about is, so many times in the prepping community, people are like, there is no way I can have enough food to last me and my family, or even just myself 1 year. You can do it. You can do it. I want to say that, I put this little video snippet together because if you get just those six things, yeah, we're spoiled as shit. Welcome back, George, as a member. Thank you. We're spoiled as shit, right? But the thing is we can do it. I did a breakdown and of the prices. I went into the prices. Yes, I said chicken feet. And they don't look too appetizing. I don't know if you suck between the claws or what you do, but you can get 400 pounds of grains. 400 pounds of grains. So you could split it up rice, wheat, and oats. They have a shelf life of 30 plus years. And I wanna say that, we really need to be keyed in on proper storage of those items. Like, don't go get stuff like dragonflies, we get rice. As soon as we get rice, it goes into the freezer for 2 days to get the buggies out of it. I'll eat the bugs. Y'all know I'll eat the bugs. I don't wanna eat Billy Boy Gates bugs, but I will eat the bugs. Um I'll never forget the first time I ever went to Jamaica, and I went to this big buffet, and not the kind of buffet that we're talking about. I'm talking fresh pair of fish, fresh, fish. I'm talking, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. It was absolutely amazing, and, it was there on the resort in Ocho Rios in Turtle Bay, and, I was eating, like, fruit salad and salad, and I went to take a bite, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And the Jamaican heard me, and he goes, "Oh, don't worry. It's just a little worm." I was like, "Okay, if you think it's okay, I'll eat it." And so I just ate it. But, like, I don't wanna eat that on a daily basis. I like good food. Um, but, you know, do you do a taste test when you buy it? No, we don't. We don't. So, think your grains, rice, wheat, and oats. I want to say that right now you can get your rice for about $40, right? $40 to last you a whole year for one person. Your wheat, I did a breakdown. Wheat, $47 of wheat berries. So you're going to have a manual grinder. Oats, 30-year shelf life, 30 bucks. So see, you can still do it. I think the oats may have went up a little bit in bulk buying, but you still got, that's 80 and 30, that's $110. Then you got to go to your pinto beans and your legumes. Legumes, is that how y'all say it? Um, you know, pinto beans is our go-to, but we have pinto beans, lima beans, navy beans, like every kind of bean that you can think of, and you can mix them up. But they also have a 30 plus year shelf life, and you're looking at about 35 bucks for one person for the whole year. Powdered milk. How many of you in the chat right now have powdered milk? You need to have some powdered milk. You need to have roughly 16 pounds of powdered milk to last you 1 year. Pinto beans, you need 60 pounds, and your rice, you need 100 pounds. See, if we would get off the potato thing because they're so starchy, and it's a great way to gain weight, honestly. But the nice thing about a potato is you can have French fries, hash browns, baked potato, mashed potato. There's so many different types of potatoes, but we have kind of switched over to sweet potatoes. But also you could grow those yourself, right? You use powdered milk to make your white bread. Yeah. And the nice thing about it, now are you, Mama Freddie or anybody in the chat, do you put I don't know if Dragonflies does or not, do you put an oxygen absorber in there to expand the life? This is all about us anyway. I don't know everything. I do a lot of research, I do a lot of reading, and I do a lot of hands-on. But do you put an oxygen absorber in there to expand the life of your powdered milk? You do? Okay. I think that would be, something very important to know because especially if you're gonna store it, you do too, or I think it'd be really important. I don't know if Dragonflies does, I'm just asking because she's in there snoozing still. But the other thing is your oils, and how many of you have seen, like, cooking oils going up in price? We really have gotten into coconut oil, um, and olive oil. But even with olive oil, you gotta be very careful that you're getting good olive oil, not crappy olive oil. And there is some crappy olive oil that you might as well not even waste your money. So you really wanna read the labels or maybe find that little Italian store if you're in the city. I love Italian food. We love our pastas. You could also mix in your pastas, which are still very cheap. Every single time, every single month, you'll notice if you've watched our grocery hauls, our prepper hauls for the last couple of years, is is we always include either egg noodles, spaghetti, fettuccine, whatever it may be, elbow noodles, large lasagna noodles, whatever. We always try to pick up a bag. And if you watch, you can pick up bags of pasta, a buck still, which is good. I think it would be, yeah, that's what we get is the olive oil from Italy because I'm not gonna buy the crap in the grocery store that's really nasty. I did buy some, honestly, at Dollar Tree to try it, and after using it, it had almost a nasty taste to it, like it made stuff nasty. Um, you're Italian and Middle Eastern and you have good olive oil, and I think that's important. Lard, butter, or ghee. Yeah, well, that's true too, Lady Casca. But Dragonflies makes our own ghee, which she's getting ready. I think she's making ghee this next week. Um, but we like ghee. But still, when you look at butter or ghee, you don't have that long shelf life. And we have to think long term. If we're going to make it 1 year on a couple $100, we have to think this is true survival. And honestly, folks, I think it could come down to that. I'm not saying this stuff to scare anybody or anything like that. I'm saying this because I you have a good day too, zombie. I gotta head out to work myself and I gotta be there. I just gotta go right across the living room. Well, yeah, but I think it's really important to get good oils and yeah, saving your bacon grease. But I don't know how long you could save it for, Carol. That's something I've never looked into. So honey and sugar. I think, they want you to have 60 pounds of sugar is what they say to last 1 year. It does have a shelf life of 30 years, and your honey has an indefinite shelf life. We don't really stack up on sugar because even with my coffee and Dragonflies too, I'm really, happy about this is we are cutting our sugar. I'm kind of on a weight loss thing right now, but I want to get it off and keep it off. And so I think bringing down, and plus I'm borderline diabetic, and so sometimes I just dip out, and so I really got to be careful what I'm doing. I can overload, and then when I overload, then I just crash, and that's not a good feeling. And literally, it just zaps me, like where I have no energy. I feel faint. I also have a problem with being borderline diabetic that if I go too long without eating, I will get faint, crabby, and sleepy. So I got to be very careful. My dad ended up, my daddy-o, as you all know, passed away. It's going on 5 years, and he, at the end of his life, became diabetic, and you have that too. Yeah, it's Dragonfly's knows because I'll get like, well, I'll start. She's like, "What is wrong?" She goes, "You need to eat something." And, I have realized that I love that she's canning orange juice because I can go put one of those cans of orange juice in there, have a little glass of orange juice, and I'm talking tiny, like we're supposed to have a juice glass, and I feel much better. And it shakes it off me and I'm fine. But, we have to be careful with our health. Um, Jar State's 100% honey. We definitely have to be careful with our health because we see that the hospitals and the institutions are starting to, fall. Salt, no matter what, you need 8 pounds of salt per person. So you're still looking at $2 to $3. We haven't bought salt forever, but I told Dragonflies if you look back in history, salt would be a very good bartering item. It would be a very good bartering item because people need salt, iodized salt, and real salt. And also, not only that, is that people enjoy salt. I got to get rid of this. I got to shut this window real quick. People in like salt, and salt will flavor up just a little bit of, just a little bit of salt will really flavor up your food. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be eating a bunch of bland crap all the time, right? I don't want to eat bland stuff. That's like not really my thing is to sit around and eat bland food. And I'm sure y'all agree on that. I'm signed up to work at local crop share. That's a great thing, Mark. That is a great thing. Exactly. And you know what it's being treated with, you know where it's coming from, and you're actively involved. Hi, Mama Flores. And yeah, we have non-iodized salt, iodized salt, Himalayan salt. We have barbecue, like the thick, coarse salt. So we have different kinds of salts. I think it's nice to have a variety. Yep, yep. That's why we get almost all of our salt now from the Amish Mennonites. I think they're Mennonites. We always say Amish, but I think they're Mennonites, honestly, at that bulk store. And look, we really got to pay attention. But I think the big thing is that we're going to have to take some major drastic steps to get out of the food industry. Like, and what I mean by that is out of the grocery stores. The grocery stores are becoming, to me, in my opinion, very dangerous with the labeling, the chemicals, the sprays they're putting on the fruits, the vegetables, everything. And the meats, we've got to come back to our roots, which is local. We got to come back to supporting supporting those vegetable stands along the side of the road that it's grandma, and grandma just she plants a good garden and she shares for a few dollars. We've got to support those people. If we don't, if we don't, you know, it's sad because so many chemicals are getting put into our food and water. The United States probably has the worst food chain, and many of the things that we eat in the United States are outlawed, banned in other countries. So that should tell us something, folks. And we have had this wrong. So for 220 dollars, you can feed, I would say $200 from the calculations I've been doing. I even went to Wally World because maybe you have to shop at Wally World. Maybe you need to do that. but for $200, you can feed one person for 1 year. It may not be the spoiled, rotten United States way, but when you'll be thankful that you invested $200 per person in your household to make it when our food chain crumbles and the American dollar crumbles. Because once the American dollar crumbles, there's no going back, folks. And if you had 1 year worth of food, not saying that you eat that first. You there is an order of ways, like if the food chain crumbles and all chaos breaks loose in the United States, and on top of it, we have no electricity and we have lights out. There is an order, first in, first out. We say that a lot. There's still an order with power outages. First in, first out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to consume the things in my refrigerator. Then we're going to consume the things in the freezer. We may also take a lot of meats, fire up the barbecue before total chaos breaks loose, right? Because if people smell that you have lots of food and they don't have nothing, they're going to be knocking at your door. If you know how to smoke meats, that may be another good avenue is to smoke meats or jerky your meat so that you have meat for the long term. Our ancestors did it. You can also go there's several meat shops online that are good old-fashioned Italian, wonderful meat that you can get, like your pepperoni, salami, your hard meats, and we try to stock up on some hard meats, and because I think that's really important as well, right? Um, yeah. Thanks, RR. Y'all smash that thumbs, please. Smash the thumbs. Can dragonflies do a video on making we've never ate it. I'll just be honest. I don't know. I'll ask her. I'll ask her about it. I've never ate it. I don't, you know, but we're spoiled. Yeah, that's why I said we're spoiled and we've had this wrong. And I think that it scares people. I'm not here as a prepper to scare people. I'm here to give you basic, down to earth insight of how you can make it. Like, we could talk about all the negative crap on a daily basis. And at OTWP Report, sometimes that stuff is so negative. But being an honest, down to earth prepper is about preparing for things, be it a weather catastrophe, be it food shortages, be it total chaos, ML, you know, that's what we prepare for. And we got to keep our boots on the ground. We got to keep going. And I think that's really important. Yeah, that's what I ate yesterday. I made a quesadilla. I took 2 tortillas, a little tiny thin piece of cheese, a little bit of butter, fried it in a pan. I like making them on the grill too. We're from the Senior Prepping Association. Hardtack is tough on the dentures. Yeah, well, it would be a great honestly, about hardtack, you all know my first making of hardtack was, it was terrible. I have to admit, I threw it out. I ate 2 pieces and I was like, "I'm gonna bust another tooth," and I really don't wanna go full on no teeth, right? So, so what I did is when I made the second, thing of hardtack, it turned out really good, but it's still hardtack is hardtack. So, but for a dipper in a cup of coffee or hot tea is wonderful. It wasn't bad or really. Um One thing that me and Dragonflies, this is our goal for March and April, and today is the first, is that we are not drinking any soda, hardly any juices, no Kool-Aids, nothing like that. The only thing we're drinking is coffee, tea, water, and Tang and OJ. So OJ is like a treat, but we are going to see what it's like to live without going and getting a Dr. Pepper or going to get a shake or any of those things. Because I think when it boils down to it, just like we tested our skills with no water, right? When you test your skills and you realize, you know what, maybe we've had this all screwed up. I watch a lot of international channels, and not very many USA channels anymore that really grab my attention. because it's always the same crap, and they always wanna fearmonger, fearmonger, fearmonger. So I've been watching some international channels on all different realms, history, all kinds of things, right? But I went into one that was into the ghettos of third world countries, and I really enjoy the channel. But what I learned from them is really they have 3 drinks only: water, tea, coffee. And most of them throughout the whole day are drinking water. And I think that we lack in that a lot of times. We feel like we have to go get the latte or the cappuccino or whatever. I think like I love hot tea and green teas. We have been stocking up tea bags of all different kinds of teas because I like Earl Grey. How many of you like a cup of hot tea? I'll tell you, when I went to Hawaii, it was very expensive. As many of you know, it's very expensive to go to Hawaii. And the only thing that was free in Hawaii was hot tea bags, that you make your own hot tea. And so that's what really got me hooked on hot tea. When I came back from Hawaii after 2 weeks, I found a little India. The man was from India, and he had fresh tea, and he had fresh little pastries, not like the crappy gooped up ones with all kinds of icing and stuff like that, not cinnamon rolls. He had these little pastries that he made by hand, homemade pastries. And so I used to go there for tea and crumpets. I used to go there like 2, 3 times a week because I loved that you could go in and pick out your tea. I love chamomile tea. One thing about chamomile is if I'm really stressed or if I've had a couple bad nights sleeping, I will drink a cup of chamomile tea. And like right now, we're out of chamomile because I like it. It mellows me out. I like Earl Grey. I like the dark black teas, and I like plain tea. We let during the summer we make a lot of sun tea, and Dragonflies loves her sweet Southern tea, Milo. She loves that stuff. But she actually said last night that she's going to start making her own sweet tea again instead of purchasing it. Um, so basically, folks, for about $224 per person, you can have a year's supply of food. When we look at bulk storage, I want to say a couple things. One about honey, because you had some people had a lot of questions about honey. Yeah, we have a lot of turmeric. You still got to really be aware of where you're getting these things. I think that's a big thing. Good morning, Patty. You drink hot tea all day long. And it's like us. We've cut back on the coffee because coffee has gotten really out of whack. And we don't want to use our reserves and our preps for that. But I want to say, let's not get it wrong, folks. So I want to add a couple notes about honey. Make sure you can trust your source to give you pure honey. And like I said, cheap honey is usually actually corn syrup. So you get what you pay for. If you think that your local honey is actually the best, because if you have the opportunity, the bees are using the same plants and flowers that you encounter every day. So it helps you with your allergies as well. That's one thing that I want to say about that. One thing I want to say too is that you might want to get powdered eggs, baking powder, baking soda. Because when you have those and you have the basic things like the wheat, the tortillas, the sprouted wheat, you can also make extra things like custards, puddings, pancakes, cookies, waffles. I made a whole list. Muffins, English muffins, German pancakes, crepes. I love crepes. Egg noodles, pasta, breads, biscuits, crackers, and you can actually make your own mayonnaise. So that's a lot more options, right? The other thing, if you have powdered butter, tomatoes, and powdered cheese, you can also make additional dinners like meatless casseroles, cream sauces that really add flavor. Good morning, dragonflies. And if you have gelatin, canned milk, or canned fruits, then you're at, if you add to your basics, once you get your basics, that's the most important thing. Get your basics for 1 year per person, 224 bucks. Invest in yourself, invest in your family. So if it comes down to absolute survival, you are covered for 1 year. That gives you some time to kick. not kick back, but step back and say, okay, we're in a world of crap. Things are really bad in the United States. The dollar has collapsed. Our grid is down, but I know that I have 1 year's worth of food and I would protect that food. I would also possibly actually get a little extra and start building something that underground where you can put that food where nobody knows except you and your family away from your home. So, just saying, I'm talking extreme. Um, Also, step 6, if you add canned meats, canned potatoes, then you have just opened a huge array. But like I said, me and Dragonflies have decided no, we're getting off the potato kick. Potatoes are easy to grow, so I'm not going to tell you not to grow potatoes. What I'm going to tell you is potatoes versus rice. Look at Asia versus the US in health, weight, and size, and their health problems. They have a lot less because they eat a lot more rice. I watched a little guy, me and Dragonflies last night, who's in the Philippines, and he went and got a hamburger, but instead of getting French fries, he had choices: French fries, this. It was a hamburger and rice. You gotta remember rice is a filler too, so rice is gonna fill you up. You can take a can of soup or a can of broth, a can of vegetables, some wild foraged mushrooms, some wild foraged dandelions, and put them with rice and have a tasty little side dish. So you gotta figure out ways that you can, right? That you can have little additions to make your rice taste better. Just saying. If you have oats, raisins, nuts, peanut butter, granola, juices, cornstarch, soup mixes, spices and flavorings, lemon powder or juice, white flour, shortening or margarine, cream of tartar, Caro syrup, and molasses, then there's small things you could do without, but really add variety to your diet. So those are just add-ons. That whole thing is just an add-on. Um, I like raisins. Dragonflies doesn't like raisins, but I love granola. I love granola. And we always get a lot of bags of nuts from almonds, walnuts, pistachios. I like nuts. You can chop them up, you can grind them, whatever, and that would give you another added source of food. We've had this wrong, and I think that it's really important that anybody can get 1 year's worth of food. And once again, I'm going to show the picture. There it is. That is 1 year's worth of food for one person. That's not a lot, folks. You hate mushrooms, but if I had to eat them, I would. The other thing, though, Sheree, if you're going to eat mushrooms, you definitely want to be able to identify mushrooms. You don't want to eat the wrong ones. You could end up sick or dead. Just saying. Folks, I hope that this made you think about stuff. And the next time you go to that prepping channel that has 2 million subs and they say, well, you better buy this or you're going to die, tell them to stuff it. Tell them to stuff it because, you know, sometimes I think we give the big channels all this, well, they're big and they said it and so I got to do it. No, think off the wall and out of the box. Be be a prepper for you, for your family. Don't let somebody sway you into what you need to buy. Buy what you want to buy, but make a plan, put it into action, and do it. And get yourself 8 buckets and start getting those dang things full. How many of you right now have at least 8 5-gallon buckets of food? Hit a one. I'm really curious. Hit a one if you have at least 8 buckets of 5-gallon, 8 buckets for each person. Anybody? I know me and Dragonflies are definitely we keep adding to our buckets, you know, and that's really important. Good, good. I'm glad to see ones popping up. So think about someone else too. If you can afford it, if you're financially able, you know, we're going to have a lot of elderly people and disabled people that are going to need us, folks. And being a good prepper, being a good person is going to take all of us helping each other. So maybe you find a special on sugar or honey or wheat or whatever it may be, wheat berries. Purchase a little extra and be prepared to help somebody when the real SHTF happens. And be the person that's not just about me, me, me. Be the person that says, you know what? I know my elderly neighbor, she's handicapped, blah, 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 and I'm going to go check on her. It's going to take all of us when the dollar falls to help each other. And that's really important. Um, I hope that each one of you keeps on prepping. I hope you keep doing the dang thing. And most of all, don't be a self-centered prepper. Think about the animals that may need you. Maybe you know a great recipe to help feed some animals in the area. Maybe you're a great fisherman. Maybe you're a great hunter. It's going to be all about community when the system fails and the system's on the way to falling. We are in the downward spiral. If you've been paying attention to OTWP report or any news broadcast, we really are in a big mess, and the mess seems to get bigger every day. So please, also, Sandra, you have 2 freezers full of beef. What are you going to do with all that beef when the power goes out? Start canning your meat, start jerkying your meat, start smoking your meat, because if your freezer goes out, you're gonna and power goes down, you're only gonna have a very short window of opportunity to be able to save that food, or you're gonna lose all that meat. So think about that too. I'm glad that y'all stopped in this morning. I will see you soon. Everybody, hey, hey, whoa, what is it? It is. What is it? It's TGIF, baby. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. How many are so happy that it's Friday? It's almost the weekend. I will be posting a lot of live streams for March, and I am working my darndest, my absolute darndest to stick with that schedule. Sometimes I gotta do them a few minutes later, a few minutes early, but right now, every Wednesday night here on this channel, we have a live stream. And that live stream is just to have, oh, sometimes it's gonna be conspiracy trivia, just different things to have some fun and enjoy time with the mag, chit chat about what's going on in our lives, and just hanging out. I hope that each and every one of you keeps on doing the dang thing. And let's just take it on the run. So on the way out, we're gonna play one song. Let's take it on the run, and this takes me way back, way back. It probably take y'all way back to let's take it on a run.
Stuck inside these four walls, sent inside forever, never seeing no one nice again like you, Mama. You, Mama, you. If I ever get out of here, gonna give it all away to a registered charity. All I need is a pie today. If I ever get out of here, if we ever get out of here. Well, the rain exploded with a mighty crash as we fell into the sun. And the first one said to the second one there, I hope you're having fun. Band on the run, band on the run. And the jailer man, a sailor Sam, was searching everyone for the band on the run, band on the run, band on the run, band on the run. Well, the undertaker drew a heavy sigh, so you know one had to come. And the bell was ringing in the village square, all the rabbits on the run. Band on the run, band on the run. And the jailer man and Sailor Sam was searching everyone for the band on the run, band on the run. Band on the run, band on the run, band on the run. Well, the night was falling in the desert world, began to set down. In the town, the search is for us everywhere, but we never will be found. Band on the run, band on the run, and the county judge held the grudge. We search forevermore for the band on the run, band on the run, band on the run, band on the run.
All right, y'all, stay safe out there. God bless you from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at. It is March the 1st. Do the dang thing. Get that food. Get the food. Get the food, but get it the right way.
Welcome to Tabata.
God bless.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
5,
It's the eye
4,
of the
3,
tiger.
2, 1,
Oh,
go.
Hey. Real soon. Do the dang thing. Big prep.
Round one. Three, two, one, stop. Round two. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Rising up, back on the street. Took my time, took my chances. With the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man with his will to survive. Just a man with his will to survive.
3, 2, 1, stop. Round 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
It's
go.
the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising to the challenge of our rivals. Ungenerous, no survivor stalks his prey in the night as he's watching us so will they.
3, 2, 1, stop. Round 4. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. Let's not the odds till we take to the street. Go
Stay there. 3, 2, 1, go.
I am the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last no survivor stalks his prey in the night, as he's watching us all in the
3, 2, 1, stop. Round 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. Let's not the odds till we take to the street. For the kill with the skill to survive. For the kill with the skill to
3,
survive.
2, 1, stop. Round 7. 3, 2, 1, go.
I am the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last no survivor stalks his prey in the night, as he's watching us all in the
3, 2, 1, stop.
the tiger.
Round 8. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I am the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last no survivor stalks his prey in the night, as he's watching us all in the
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop.
the tiger.